All right. Hey, race fans, welcome. My name is Matt Malone. I'm joined, as you can see, with a big panel of people, and this is going to be the American Muscle Series Season 3 recap video. It was a hell of a season. One of the best yet. Obviously, every single season we do of AMS, it just keeps getting better and better. The competition gets better. The prizes get better. The format gets better. And that is all due to this man on the top left of your screen, Finny McFinger, Randall McGrew. He puts it all together, and we're gonna get a little insight from everybody here. We got Rank Up Gamers top right, and Scotty Banks, your second overall winner, on the bottom. I'm Matt Malone over here wearing my Mustang shirt, and we're in between seasons. And I just wanted to ask Finny, why did you come up with AMS? What was the thought process of beginning the league? Why did you start the league, and why is it so awesome?
Well, really got into the Mustang right at that last season of Grand Touring Cup. I don't know if anybody remembers Grand Touring Cup, but it was the Mustang series before PCC. It was just a great car, and I really had a blast driving it, so I started getting into it. And then Grand Touring Cup went away. It got folded into PCC, and the turnout on the Mustang was just absolute crap. Nobody was racing. So we decided to start the league. Initially, it started in the sim pit. So this is 4 years ago. We ran a few seasons of it through the sim pit. Then there was a long break, and it was kind of a combo effort. Devin Booth was running it for a while. He had to step away from things, so I took it over, and I wasn't affiliated with the sim pit in any way. So I said, all right, well, we're just going to completely rebrand this thing. We're going to push hard through the forums, through streamers, through all the the usual suspects, Riley, his crew, your chat, and just get the word out there as much as possible, because even though it has low participation, Mustang is like one of the most loved cars on the service, apparently, as is evidenced by the turnout that we've had week after week for the past 3 seasons.
That's how it started, is love of the car.
Yeah, the car is awesome. I mean, it's one of the few remaining H patterns on the service. It's really beginner friendly, but you can also, if you have a lot of skill, you can go really freaking fast in it. So it's a great car for a league.
The Lotus 79 community, they can organize kind of a league around an official series, but you can't do that with Mustang because it doesn't have its own series.
Right. Yeah. The only thing you have is PCC, so you're kind of limited. I think the most Mustangs you can get in one split in PCC is 12. There's a bunch of different split permutations, but I think the most you can actually get is 12. And I mean, that's what we'd have 3 splits some days, by what we have in the league turnout. So it seemed like a no-brainer. We needed a Mustang league. With Grand Touring Cup gone, Mustang needed a spot, and if they weren't going to give it an official series, then we'll make an unofficial one, and it's blown up. It's been absolutely incredible.
Now, have you put together leagues before in the past?
Nothing super serious. Some fun leagues, but yeah, nothing on this scale.
Okay, and then how is iRacing's like league functionality like progressed in the last couple, like since you started? Because you're messing around with leagues, it's basically like a full-time job managing a league. How has it progressed? Is it easier? Is it user-friendly now doing a league on iRacing?
iRacing's league tools, I can sum it up with one sound. It's terrible. It's horrible.
Really? It still is?
There's so many ways they can improve it. The new UI made it a little bit easier to create like sessions and things, but right now the biggest issue is every time a new build comes out, it resets fast repairs on everything, on all your sessions that are already created. So every time that a new season, like right in our mid-season break, I have to remember to go and reset the fast repairs after the build gets released. That's why that's why normally our week 7 race, we normally end up with fast repairs, because I forget, or it resets again, or it's a pain in the butt.
So I wanted to get Rank Up and Scotty's kind of talk about the Mustang itself, getting back to the car that we like so much, and the reason Finney even put this league together. Rank Up, when did you get started with the Mustang, and what do you like about it?
Well, I've never ran an official series race with a Mustang other than twice before the league. I'm a Pontiac driver. Pontiac's still better than the Mustang, but Mustang is a close second. But it's just kind of came in the league because, I attempted to broadcast it kind of for the first season, and it looks like fun. So I came in this season with next to no practice, and it is fun.
Now you're in the amateur class, right?
Yes, I was in the amateur class, which may or may not exist.
So, Finney, we listen, this guy, he was beating pros, he was beating challengers. There's no way we can let him stay in the amateur class next season.
The only way that he possibly stays in the amateur division is if there's only 2 divisions. I don't know if he's strong enough to be in the pro if there's only 2, but yeah, if there's 3, he's definitely not staying amateur.
So we'll get fair. That to we'll talk about that later. What do you got ideas for next season? But Scotty Banks, there he is. Look at Scotty's room, dude. This is epic. He just moved into this house not too long ago. This guy's a legend. I don't know if we did any big prizes about like most improved driver, but I think Scotty Banks this season, dude, this guy was determined. He was focused. He was racing his ass off. Scotty Banks, here he is. Why do you like the Mustang so much? What is it about the Mustang that you like so much? And why is this league the best Mustang league ever created?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's the only Mustang league that I know of. So by default, it's the best. But this was the first league, actually, to this point, the only league I've ever been in. So I feel like I found the right one. And that's actually... I never actually drove this car until probably about 3 weeks before the first race of this. And I only joined because I had watched so many of your PCC races, and you always talk it up, and so I thought, that'll be fun. And it definitely turned out to be worth the, whatever, $25 of entry fees or whatever it's been.
So what?
That was $10. $10.
Oh, was that it? We only paid for 1 season so far, huh? Okay, well, I would pay more, as you can tell. I'm happy to pay more money for what we're doing.
You can pay as much as you want. Finney's PayPal's open. You can put in any number you want, Scotty.
I'll have some sent your way.
What is it about the Mustang that you found that, how did you improve so much? Is it just basically track time? Is there a little stuff that maybe a new person to the Mustang hasn't quite figured it out yet? Do you got any like tips or tricks to the Mustang that you've learned over the course of these league races?
One thing that really helped me between last season and this season, don't write this down. The biggest thing was just to respect it more. And while you can throw it around and have a lot of fun with it, I was trying too hard to go too fast the last 2 seasons. And when I kind of backed up and stopped trying to be as fast as possible, I actually ended up picking up like half a second at most tracks that we had run the previous season. Same thing with PCC. So there's nothing specific, but I stopped caring about going fast. And at every track that we went to this season, that we went to the previous 2, I was at least half a second faster.
Wow. Sometimes you're kind of there along for the ride with the Mustang. You kind of just set it up for the turn, and you're just there with the car because all that weight, and you're just letting it do its thing, and you're not forcing it. Right. That's what I found.
Being on the throttle too early killed me for my first 100 races in this car until I figured that out in this off season, because I was tired of getting blown away by the top 4 or 5 drivers, and I knew I was right there. So I spent basically the whole, whatever it was, 4 or 5 weeks between season 2 and season 3, just running lap after lap after lap at every track that we had run in season 2. I guess it paid off. I won $50.
Yeah, there you go. Now, what are you going to do to close the gap between you and Arrow?
Now that I don't know.
What is he doing?
I don't know if there's an answer to that. But one thing that I kind of switched mentality-wise that I need to find a blend of the first 2 seasons and in PCC, like I said, pushing too hard, and I was too worried about going fast But then when I would get into the league races and I would be getting destroyed by you and Ian and Arrow and Black Dog and all these guys that I felt like I was good enough to race with, but I wasn't fast enough. This season I found the speed, but I wasn't aggressive enough. And I guess it paid off with all those second place finishes. But next season I just need to kind of force my way in to get by Arrow, because I know at some tracks I could be fast enough to hold him off, but I'm just too afraid to actually go up there and take it.
Right.
So
now
that's my goal.
now I've always been under the impression that the faster car doesn't always win. If you can get positioning, if you can race a smart race, if you can think a couple of steps ahead of your opponent, you can get ahead of somebody, you can defend well, and you can beat them even though they're faster than you. And based on a bird's eye view, Finney, because you watch these races from above, have you noticed a lot more of the racecraft coming into play more often than just flat out speed? I mean, what do these races look like from above?
Well, from above, up front, it's a combination of speed and racecraft, but you're not going to be at the front without the racecraft. PCC being only 25 minutes long, there's a few drivers that still struggle once they get past that mark, and that last 15 minutes will really eat some people alive. The tires on the Mustang are pizza cutters, so they're super, super easy to overheat. So being able to manage your tire heat, and if you do overcook it, being able to take it easy without losing much time is a big thing.
Yeah, I've just noticed that, like, if you push really hard in the beginning and you try to get out front, and then you're just like a sitting duck sometimes, because you're right about those tires, man. It just, all of a sudden, the guys behind you are just on another level, and you just got to let them go because they just pull right around you, and you're like, God, I cooked my tires too much. But there is something to be said about getting ahead of somebody, because these cars are so massive. You take up half the track as it is, and if you can just be a pain in the ass to the cars behind you, they might not be able to get around you till the end, and then you can pick up a couple spots here and there. So I'm saying, Scotty, do whatever Arrow's in the chat right now. He's listening to all our strategies. But I'm saying, if we fight, and we can try to, because I think that's a huge part of it, because look, Arrow's not going to back down. As soon, like, the couple of times I can count on one hand how many times I've been ahead of Arrow, and you got to be watching him, because any opportunity, any gap, he's going for it. Well, why don't we do that? You know, and as long as we keep it clean, obviously. You know,
there's two things that scare me most in life. One of them is being in front of you when there's like 600 people watching and I'm just being scrutinized the whole time. And when Arrow is behind me, whether it's practice or the race, or those two things are horrifying. And I need to get over that, because if I can get past him, I feel like I can stay from in front of him sometimes, but it's getting over that fear. Not like he's going to wreck me, but it's just,
right,
he's too good.
Well, and like, I'm somebody, I don't know about you guys, but I'm somebody that is faster when there's a car in front of me. But as soon as I pass him, then I start screwing up, because like my whatever it is, like my focus, my vision changes, and I just start screwing up.
Having to drive the track without somebody to show you where to go, that's just impossible.
Yeah,
I don't know how people
rank
do that.
up, that's true. You always got people in front of you, rank up. So I mean, how does that? So how are now AMS? I mean, me and Scotty, you know, fortunately, we're kind of up in the front, you know, most of these races, just because I think we've been racing for so long. But as somebody new to the car and new to the series rank up, how is AMS kind of in the middle of the pack when you got amateurs and challengers and pros all mixed up? Is there a huge deviation in talent level, or is everybody kind of about the same speed?
The real issue I ran into is you just never know the people around you. Like, there's always the amateurs that I'm close to, and there's always the challengers you can kind of keep up with. But when you get a pro behind you, you just don't know what's going to happen. Like, if you're running the same pace as somebody that normally is 2 seconds faster than you, it's always a different kind of race. Like, 2 laps separated from somebody, and then they spin and get right behind you, and then try to kill you, in my mind. Because I'm going so much slower, I don't know how they do it. But it's always something interesting to follow and pick up stuff off of people that are that much quicker. Because there's always one little trick they know. If you can replicate it, hell, you find half a second, and then you kill yourself because you pushed it too hard.
Well, I think for new people to the car, this is a great league to get started, is because Finney runs the practice servers. You got high skilled individuals like Arrow. Like almost every single week, I'm watching Arrow's fastest lap to try to pick up anything I can. So I think, amateurs in this series are only going to get better and better just participating. Now, what are the qualifications to be in this league, Finney?
There are really, you gotta have $15 or $10 or whatever we decided it to be. Ultimately, you can't be an asshole. You can be an asshole. You just can't act like an asshole. I may be a benevolent dictator, but I am a dictator, and my tolerance for it is really low. So if somebody has a problem, you'll get removed. You won't get your money back. You got to be interested in clean racing. It's better to lose a clean race than to win a dirty one, and that's the kind of the mentality we want coming into the league.
And not to say that mistakes happen, obviously.
Yeah, but clearly it's racing. Right. Things are going to happen on track. The past 3 seasons have been completely live stewarded. Next season, we're probably going to be doing post race only because I want to drive. Not finally, I've been wanting to drive since season 1. I finally feel like we're in a good spot, and I have a couple tools that can help me find the incidents post race, where we can just do it all after the race. It'll be a little bit more time consuming for me, but I was doing most of the reviews after the races anyway to make sure I didn't miss anything in real time. So I'm going to try to get out there and mix it up, and if things go south with it, then I can just step back and get back into the stewarding booth and make sure things get cleaned back up. That's my main priority, is to make sure that this league stays as clean as it is and as fun as it is. I mean, we've had our races that were not tidy. We've had some sloppy races, and that's just going to happen. And some tracks are put on the schedule knowing that it's going to cause some mayhem. Like when I put Road Atlanta on there, I knew this is going to be chaos. When certain tracks, you just know that there's gonna be lots of close racing, lots of car contact. Things are gonna happen.
Man, I tell you, when I see those little messages on the top, like incident involving the number 125 car, I'm like, oh man, is it me? Is it me? Like I want to. Only a couple times has my name been up there, so I the live stewarding, I think, definitely prevents a lot of stupidness. I think people know they're being watched, and they tend to keep it a little bit clean. But you don't think you would delegate that live stewarding to somebody so you could race? You would just wait till the end?
I got pretty high standards of what I expect out of somebody to do that job. Ishmael's been helping me. I don't think I don't want to speak for him, but I don't think that he's completely comfortable making those decisions completely, by himself. Right. I don't want to force that onto him. And I also don't want to ask somebody to do it without giving them some money.
Right.
I'll do it myself for free, but honestly, it's a lot of work to get set up and do it during a race. But if I'm going to ask somebody else to do it, I feel like I would have to pay them, and so that would take money out of the prize pot. If we're able to do it, stay with the level of cleanliness that we've had with me doing them post race reviews, then I'm going to be tickled pink. And if it's not, then I can jump back into the booth and maybe start looking for somebody that was willing to come in and be there regularly to do it, hopefully on a good budget. But
right.
I'm trying to put as much of the money back into the prize pool as possible.
Speaking of prize pool, what were the big prizes this last season for AMS? Run it down.
Oh, I don't have the payout sheet handy, but I know that Hero, who won the Pro Championship, got $100.
And I heard an all-expense-paid trip to Maui for 7 days and 7 nights. That's unbelievable. These prizes for AMS are out of control now.
That's right. All expenses paid as long as he pays them. I think Scotty got 50, and then Malone, you got 30, which you just chipped back into the kitty.
I threw it right back in for next season. That's right.
And then the challenge, I don't remember how much Challenger paid out. I want to say 60. And then the Amateur Championship, I think, paid 30.
Okay, so that's,
and then that's
substantial.
We had $15 in weekly prizes every week as well. So each division had a $5 prize to race for every week, and most of the time it was just clean driver. There was also a season-long clean driver, $20 for each division, and we had a most improved driver, $20, which went to Mr. Rank Up over there.
Ah.
Yeah, I gave up
Discipline.
on that this season because Arrow was always 1 or 2 spots ahead of me and always had the same amount of incidents, so it wasn't
Yeah.
even worth it for me to be clean every race.
And then the winners also got those awesome 3D printed trophies that should be getting printed anytime now. You saw them from last season. The Arrow got them, and Eero and Roy got them. We got 3 of those that they're going to be going out for Eero and Edgar and Jay Bast.
And Mike Nickham, the guy doing the tumblers, he was doing like free giveaways. And then you can go get yourself some. I bought myself some coasters. Scotty's got a coaster.
Yep.
And stuff like that. So there's AMS merch for sure. And I heard if you grow out a sweet mustache, your name gets put into the prize pool more often. So I see Scotty with the stash, Finney with the most glorious stash I've seen, and we got Dustin who can't grow facial hair quite yet. And then I hear Jimmy Broadbent's going to start growing his mustache out, so that's going to get pretty exciting. And I think it's going to just draw a lot of people into the league. Once they see our facial hair, they're really going to want to race some Mustangs. Now, for AMS, is the H-pattern shifter required to race?
No, you can do it with paddles.
Okay.
We do disallow driving aids except for the anti-stall clutch, I think. Or the clutch aid. You can use like auto clutch and auto blip, but I don't think you can turn it truly automatic. You have to have at least paddles.
What do you got,
I don't
Finney,
know if
when
there's
you
a way
race?
to. I don't know if there's a way to enforce it being H pattern.
Yeah.
I got the Thrustmaster like you got.
What do you got, Rank Up?
The HAA, yeah.
What do you got, Scotty?
I have the Fanatec shifter that everyone says breaks all the time, but mine hasn't yet.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Good. That's the one where you flip a switch and it can go to sequential, right?
Yeah.
Pretty nice. Pretty nice. So we're in between seasons right now for AMS. What are we doing for fun starting tonight? What's this new league, Finney? What do you got? What do you got on deck?
We got the Roof Riders. After we had a couple fun races during our week 13 break. One of them was Roof and Mustang, and since the Roof lost its official series, I thought we had a lot of fun in the fun race, so I thought we'd throw together a fun league to kind of fill the time since AMS has such big breaks, which is part of the reason why I think it's still so popular. We're not overwhelming people with it, give people a long time to recover and look forward to the next season. But it is a big gap, so threw in another little fun league,
And it's through the holidays and stuff, It's just kind of fun, right? Are both y'all Rank Up and Scotty in the Rough Riders? You got guys outlaws?
In the future, yes. This week, no.
I am doing it. I've done
I got
about
plans.
6 laps of practice, and so I'm just going to jump in and see how it goes.
All right, I got 6 less practice for laps than you. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, but I've never driven the car at all. That's 6 laps ever in the car.
That's a little different then.
Yeah.
All right,
we have 40 people. We have 40 people signed up for the Roof,
Really?
so I don't know how many people are actually going to show up.
All right, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Now the AMS Season 3, obviously the best season we've had so far. Fully broadcasted, huge prize pools. The new class system with the pro class, the challenger class, and the amateur class. Huge fields. How do we get better than this?
Honestly, I don't know what better looks like. I haven't seen a league like this that's better. So, in my opinion, better is more sponsorships so we can give more prizes out and get better recognition out there. We already have a top-of-the-line broadcast. We have top-of-the-line racing. We may be going back to 2 divisions next season. I'm still waiting for responses there and going to make a final decision sometime around the holidays. But yeah, I really don't know where to go next. Like I kind of don't know what to do with my hands at this point. The thing got so big so quick that I'm flying by the seat of my pants just as much as anybody else.
Yeah.
Is.
And now I like the different format because sometimes we'll have 2 20-minute races. I know we messed around with a little bit of that in season 2, season 3. I think you really figured it out there. And does anybody have any other options or ideas for different format? Like, I love the 2 20-minute races. I do love that. You got the regular 40-minute races, and then you threw in some 60-minute racers in there, didn't you?
Yeah. So in season 3, we had 12 races overall, 12 rounds. 2 of those were 60-minute races, and 2 of those were 20-minute doubleheaders. The point system did not play very well with those doubleheaders, and I didn't want to do it like we did in season 2. So we're going to be changing the point system to be more like an oval point system, but basically one race's worth of points is going to be 20 minutes. So if we have a 20-minute doubleheader, each race is going to be worth full points. The 40 minutes will be worth double points. If we have a 60-minute enduro, it'll be worth triple points. And if my ultimate idea was to have like 3 20-minute doubleheader rounds, I'm losing track. 8 of the regular 40-minute races, and then 1 80-minute race for the last round of the season, and it would effectively be quadruple points.
80 minutes?
It'd be like a double 40, So
it's got to start earlier, though, right?
It would have to start a little bit earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a give and a take with starting earlier, because we have a broadcast that is at a scheduled time. We do have quite some viewers that come there every week at that time and expecting to see it right then. So starting earlier may or may not be an option, but
right.
Yeah, it's a tough call.
Now here's a great question from the chat. Would you ever consider any like one-off tournaments where EU could participate easier, kind of like golf would do, like the US Open or something, where it's just an AMS Open, a one-off race, maybe on a Saturday morning or Sunday morning or something, and just anybody can join, just have one big race?
Yeah, I've thought about having like a charity race or something like that, where we can try to build up some recognition in the community and give back to a charity or something. Yeah,
I mean, it'd be like basically a hype race, an advertising race for promotion for the league, and it gets people involved. Maybe they're a little on the fence about joining a league, but you give them one shot to get in the Mustang and have fun in one race, and they may, love it. And who knows? It just puts different eyeballs on it, I guess. I mean, that sounds interesting, but
like the SCCA runoffs were kind of a flop on the official series, but it gave me an idea. We could do like a runoff style kind of thing over a couple weeks during between seasons, and let people score points, let anybody sign up, and then take the biggest 40 out of them and have a big race somewhere.
Now, Rank Up Gamers, you've been on iRacing for a really long time. Is it your opinion that we need to take advantage of the Mustang in this league before iRacing breaks the Mustang or comes out with a new one?
I mean, I've seen 3 Dallara Indy cars in my time.
Right.
And somehow they progressively get worse.
Right.
But that's on Dallara, not iRacing. I do think there will be a new Mustang.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as fun as this one. So
I think if we get a new Mustang, it's going to be a GT4 or even a GT3. I don't think we're going to see a Mustang that looks like this one. And if we do, this one will still be around in Legacy. So
that's true. They have to keep it. They wouldn't just update it, right, and ruin it. They would just come out with a new one, because this one's so outdated.
This one is so outdated. Yeah, there's no update for it.
And then it would just become free. Hey, if this Mustang became free and it went Legacy, no, they wouldn't do that.
It's not going to happen. If it was going to go free, they would have ran it already as free or Legacy. It's never going free.
Yeah,
I think there's something in the licensing that's preventing it from happening.
I'm just saying, if it was free, more people would want to join the league. If there was like an entry fee to the league, they'd be like, that's all right, because the car was free or whatever,
How much is the Mustang? Like $12?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess $12.
The what you can use that $12 for to buy the Mustang, and the things that you learn from driving that car will translate to a lot of other cars. It's worth every penny. And if you get in an awesome league like AMS, you're going to get plenty of use out of it.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of fancy cars I spent a lot of money on that I don't use, and I drive this stupid old thing all the time.
Isn't that something? Now, I got a question. For some reason, you've been able to figure out the schedule for these seasons to where you may look at the schedule and at first glance, you're like, oh, yeah, there's a couple good tracks on there, you know. But when you race it, for whatever reason, you manage to get these tracks. The Mustang just drives so well at some of these tracks. Do you just do a lot of testing to figure that out?
Yeah.
How do you come up with a schedule, basically?
So I used to make lap guide videos for the Mustang for PCC. So I was going, there was 3 or 4 seasons worth of videos. So I was doing all the things that PCC did. And sometimes I'd go to a track and be like, man, this track sucks. This is not a good track for this. But there are certain corners I'm like, well, okay, so this corner's like this corner is like the tower turn at Sebring, or the last corner of Road America, or this corner is like the S's at Suzuka, or this. I can kind of make an analogy to something else, or an analog to something else, and I start thinking, okay, well, what kind of tracks have these kind of corners? And I'll look at alternate layouts and maybe get some stuff out of that too. Like if they'll run a track and I'll say, well, okay, this sucks. But if we were on the shorter layout, it might not suck. So I'll go test that shorter layout. Yeah, if I find something interesting in a boring track, I'll be like, all right, what track has that corner that's similar to that and other interesting corners, and throw it on there.
That's good. That's good. Hey, Black Dog, if you wanted to join, you can totally just join. We're just in the Discord if you wanted to throw in some of your opinions. So moving forward, next season, can you give us any ideas on what's coming up next season? How far you are organizing it, and is there any surprises you want to reveal today?
Well, I've been looking through the responses. I posted the season poll in the Discord. We've gotten 34 responses to it now. The decision on a few things is going to have to wait. But I think we're going to see some standing starts. It's probably the biggest change.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to be every week. It's only going to be a few select races, and it might happen during the 20-minute races.
Okay, that's cool. That's news. That's breaking news. Possibly standing starts for some of the races next season in AMS.
That's probably the biggest thing.
With those cold
and
tires,
racing.
Oh my god!
And me racing is the other big announcement.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's huge. And you know what? You'd be a huge contender up front for sure, Finney. I think that'd be a lot of, because when we do a little week 13 stuff, you're there up front. You know?
Well, yeah, I've fallen off a little bit. I will say anybody that drives the Mustang that isn't in the league, the greatest thing about the league is that it gets you seat time. Right. And this car, far and away more than any other car I've driven on the service, seat time pays off. Like, I don't know what it is about the Mustang, but seat time. And that's part of the reason why Aero seems untouchable sometimes. The dude has hours in this car that nobody else has before the practice server even launches. Right. So,
well, Scotty, you can speak to that, Scotty, because you can get a real good. I think the more dynamic a car is, the more you can feel it in the sim, right? You can feel the weight.
Yeah, that's a big thing with this car that you can't with a lot of like the newer, fancier cars. You can, as much as you can without actually being in it and feeling it. The Mustang specifically seems to really give more information on what the body is doing. That once you learn that, and that's where like that time, just lap after lap after lap, and kind of realizing what it's doing, where like feeling it makes a huge difference that you don't get in like a GT3 car.
Because the whole car is moving around. You can see it. You can see the pitch. It's just got so much movement. It's just a lot of body roll that you can you get a better sense of what the car's doing and what the car wants to do and what the car is best doing, and just letting it do its thing through the corners or whatever you're doing. But yeah, then you don't know what the car wants to do until you get in the cockpit and run thousands of laps, I guess. Maybe that's why I'm not winning these races. I got to run 1,000 laps everywhere.
Well, that's part of what makes this league so fun, I think, is especially after 3 seasons of kind of racing the same dozen or so guys, especially up towards the front, being able to trust them and knowing what the car is doing now. Like when we did that fun race at Road America and we had like 2 full laps of 3 wide.
Yes.
You can't do that in a lot of cars. You can't trust people in a lot of official races. So being able to throw the car around like that and know what it's doing and trust that you on my inside and Black Dog on my outside, that we'll make it through turns 1 and 2 just fine. That it makes it so much fun.
That was insane. For anybody watching this on YouTube, comment down below what was your favorite moment of the AMS Season 3. Because there's just too many. I mean, 3 wides, 2 wides, multiple corners, just photo finishes, and it's an absolute blast. And you're right about racing with the same guy. I mean, I can see why league racing and the league part of iRacing is so popular, but you don't really hear it too much because they're all racing their league races, They're not really talking to outside people in public lobbies or anything, but I can understand why people get a group of friends together and just do their leagues and have fun there, and they never touch public racing. I more understand it now. I've never really been much of a league guy, but you throw 50 Mustangs out on the track, I'm going to be there, I don't care where it is, but yeah, it's the trust factor with the people you race with is what gets it to that next level of entertainment and fun that you can't do in public lobbies. I mean, sometimes in a public lobby, you see people you've raced with before, so you're a little bit more confident. But if you looked at your relative and you're like, I've never seen those names before, I better keep my distance. Like, that's no fun, You want to get in there. And I know every time Rank Up Gamers goes too wide with somebody, there's going to be a 4X. And his name's going to pop up on the top of the screen. It's further investigation. That's something he's working at.
Only once. Only one time was I investigated.
One time, really?
And it was completely Edgar's fault.
But
how dare he be in the way, right?
Yeah.
I know. He got right on the apex and just stopped. Like, come on.
Yeah, well, standing starts get me excited for the season. Now, that's going to be tough with cold tires, but next season's fully broadcasted again. We're up for that, right?
Yeah. So I'm heavily involved in slow motion broadcasting now. So is that guy.
Okay.
We're gonna be fully broadcasted next year. The price is going up a little bit, but it's fine. It's worth it. We're gonna have to pay for it. There's a couple more things we're gonna have to pay for this season, so it may make a little bit of an impact on how much the prize money or how much of the entry money gets back into the prize pool. And if we get sponsors, that'll help. So if you're out there and you want to help sponsor this league, or you have a good contact with a company that wants to sponsor this league, we got we had one race this season. It was Nürburgring, where there was 28 people. And what was my comment in the drivers meeting? We have only 28 drivers.
Right.
So we're normally fielding like 34, 35 drivers every week.
Right.
And that's with like 60 signed up. So we had I think we had 48 signed up this season.
Right. Well, that's true. And
yeah.
and three seasons AMS, it's a successful league. It has been shown to be very successful. So if there's anybody out there that maybe they own a little sim racing company or they want to put some money behind this, get your logo on the broadcast, wherever they'll put it on the car. We got league car paints and everything like that. So if you're out there, contact Finny McFinger and make it happen. But I just want to do this wrap up. Yeah, go ahead.
I saw a question in chat. I want to address. I've seen a lot of questions in chat over the weeks about the secret word. So the secret word was just a random word. I want to kind of clue you guys into the secret. It's just a random word that I was using to verify that people were in the meeting. We were taking screenshots and getting head counts. But if we would go back and look at it, and if we saw that somebody was missing, we could ask them what the secret word was. And if they told us the secret word, then they were right. It started off just being random words, and then after a while, it just became a way to troll Malone.
What's crazy is that I heard every secret word, but if you were to ask me after the race what it was, I would not be able to tell you.
Well, I wasn't worried about you. Chat would have told you.
Usually when the driver's briefing starts, that's my cue to go to the restroom get a drink, and let the chat hear the driver's briefing. But I tell you that's commitment. I'd say for you doing those driver's briefing every week. And look, everyone's heard it, right? But it's the fact that you do it and it gets ingrained in people's heads. And I think it may seem very repetitive for you, but I'm telling you, it does its job, and I think that's part of the success of the league.
It's my least favorite part of every race, but you're right. It works. It makes everybody stop for a minute and just think about not being a dickhead.
What you got, Scotty?
I was just gonna say, you might be so worried about every time the words come up that it's being investigated because you leave for the driver's meeting every week.
Oh man, but yeah, it's good stuff. Wanted to wrap it up there. I think Rank Up Gamers has got a wreck out of a Indy Fix race coming up. We're gonna get ready for Rough Riders, and what can I say? I wanted to do the wrap up video for anybody watching the full playlist of the AMS. Check out Slow Motion Broadcasting for the full season of AMS. They did a great job, and they're just gonna, they're just gonna keep getting better and better too. When the more and more the drivers, you become accustomed to the league. It's gonna get better. We're gonna get better. The league somehow gets better and better every year. So wanted to thank Finney, thank you Rank Up, and Scotty. Scotty, once again, great job, second place overall.
Thank you.
And really looking forward to next season. Aero obviously won the full-on championship again. We're rooting for Scotty to challenge Aero. He's got a chance.
It's gonna get closer.
Yeah, and I think that guy Clint Fletcher, recently married. That Clint, I think he's got a chance at challenging some of us as well. He's gonna make some big improvements.
Maybe instead of letting Aero win the prize money again, we could just pay him $100 and he give you the steward.
It'd be funny if we paid Aero $100 and then he'd have to start in the pits every single race.
Yeah,
and he'd still probably win the championship.
He'd still get up there. I was worried at Atlanta that he was creeping up on me. So I started slowing down towards the end, and then I realized he was up in like 6th.
Unbelievable. Hey, I'm glad Aero's in the league. We can learn a lot from him, and it's a net benefit for everybody because we're all become better drivers and racers because he's there to show the way. And I truly believe that. As much frustration sometimes as it brings with how good he is, but I think it's a great asset. So hope he joins us next season.
One other little thought on that. I know you want to wrap up, but
yeah.
I've schemed and plotted and thought of many different ways to make it so that Aero can't win. And ultimately, I come back to everybody else just needs to get good.
Exactly.
It's a race, and he's fastest, and you guys are in the same equipment. These cars aren't complicated to set up. Get good.
Yeah. And my we talked about it before. I'd say the fastest car doesn't always win. So if you got a chance to make a move on them, you got to, because you got to rattle them. Anybody that's faster, and if you can rattle them, I'm just saying.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck, but I'm just saying. Anyway, but thank you guys so much for joining. This has been AMS Season 3 wrap-up. Glad you guys could make it. Rank up with the memes, man. We got 3 mustaches. Yeah, check out Finny McFinger, his Twitch, and I hope you guys are rooting for all of us in the next season. Thank you so much. Say goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.